Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw podcast. It's yours truly, Mr. TC, and I'm joined not as always, but as frequently by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Big. How are you, sir?
I'm good, TC. I am very good. I've enjoyed listening to the last few chop sessions that you've done with some other people. It's good to be back here chopping it up with you. It's been a minute.
Where you been lately? Just fill the folks in.
Oh God, yeah, I've been. I mean, great places. Has been busy. I don't know if we've talked. I mean, I've mentioned on the NLU podcast. Went out to Cyprus for Media Day, Walker Cup Media Day. That was kind of the beginning of this busy stretch for me. About a week later, we went to my wife and I met the rest of my side of the family at the Homestead Resort in Virginia. We were celebrating my parents' 50th anniversary. And immediately from there, I flew to Wales for the Women's Open, was over there for 8 days. And then just recently went out to Philadelphia for a couple nights. Got to interview Michael Bamberger. That's going to be an NLU podcast. I think date still to be determined, but it'll be sometime in the next week or two, I suspect. So yeah, accruing those miles, TC. I'm very close to getting my platinum status with United once again for next year, which
Oh,
I'm
how
stoked
about
about.
that? And
Yeah.
by, with a third of the year left to go, too. I love that. Well, we're going to talk some recent travels today. We'll catch up on some monitoring. I did a little bit of it with DJ and Neil last week and then DJ a few weeks back. And then we can certainly get into some sports and just kind of life lately stuff. So, before we get there, we got a lot of mea culpas. And listen, I think this is a reflection of more DJ and Neil, to be honest. But I've got two right off the top that, first of all, ServPro, number one brand in cleanup and restoration, known for making any mess like it never even happened with over 2,200 locations nationwide. They're faster than any size disaster. Visit servpro.com or call 1-800-ServPro today. I had like a 7-minute ServPro mea culpa on the live show the other night after the FedEx St. Jude.
It was almost
Um,
like opening a vein for you. Just letting you kind of just let it out, man.
yeah,
We're in a safe space here.
and then Solly kinda called it out, like, midway, probably towards the tail end of it, and he's like, "Hey, this is supposed to be like the ServPro thing." I was like, "Oh, like, I just did it from memory based on all the trap draws." But, I got 2 right off the bat, personal ones. Listen, I mispronounced, uh, Castelvetrano olives, and
Mm.
I said Calvestrano olives, which that's just
No,
really
that was
like that's
beating you up.
that's not a good one. Yeah, I'm pretty ashamed of that one. So seriously. So mea culpa there. I also said that Jacquelina is from the northwest part of Spain. Of course, the Basque region is not the northwest. It's more just north or even northeast. Big mea culpa there as well. And then a few just, coming in from listeners on both DJ and Neil. DJ mistakenly said that Quick Trip, the one with the KWIK, not Quick Trip QUIK, in
Mm.
the Southeast. This is the Quick Trip up in Wisconsin and
How would
Minnesota.
we quickly power rank the two quick trips?
I don't know. I mean, I think they both have their own strengths, right? Like I think the Quick Trip in the Southeast, tons of gas pumps. They have a great hot dog station every time you go in there. Always
God,
clean. They have
I
kind of one of
almost
those
got
like, yeah.
I almost got a Steve snapping dog yesterday when I landed back in Denver. It was, like, right at lunchtime. I almost pulled the trigger, and
Oh,
I
the
didn't.
post landing Steve Snapping dog
Yeah,
would be
the welcome home
unprecedented.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, soldier.
Which are they closing?
I will have to find that out. I do not know if they're closing that airport location or not. It was very open yesterday, decent amount of
Yeah,
people there. It was honestly, it was good to see.
because I stopped by on the way back from Nebraska and didn't see any signage and anything like that. And I asked one of the employees, and they didn't really give me a definitive answer. So uh,
Like, I don't know, man. I just clock in and flip the
yeah,
dogs on the
yeah.
Turner.
But I mean, I've been beating up that lounge, that, U a United lounge in the B concourse. It's like a ski lodge. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
So
I do wanna shout out if anybody's in the A terminal, of course, God, I always wanna say Rusted Root, Native what's the restaurant in
oh, root
C
down,
terminal? Root Down,
root
Root
down.
Down
Yeah.
is fabulous in C terminal. B's got a bunch of, like, staples, fast
There's a
casual.
there's a Vietnamese, pho place upstairs in B that's
Oh,
fantastic. Yeah.
okay, that's good to know. I was
Yeah.
gonna say for the people, A terminal, you gotta make your way down towards the lower gate numbers, so it's not centrally located, but they've put in some new restaurants there. A new ramen place that's very
Yeah.
popular in Denver, Uncle, and then, the other one I really like is The Bindery. They not like a huge menu, but just a couple good sandwich options, salad, really good pastries, coffee. So if you're in A terminal, um, head down to the lower gate numbers in A, and you'll see some good new dining options there.
Love that. There's a good empanada place, just like a little walk-up stand that's in the
Yes,
center there. I
exactly
can't
right.
remember where it is, but
I think
that's I've
that's
been
in
hitting
A
that
as
up.
well. Maria
Yeah.
Empanada. Very,
Yeah.
yeah, good call out too.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Quick Trip.
So the quick trips.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
so the Quick Trips in Wisconsin and Minnesota, I think are more, I've been in there with DJ. It's almost like a local market of like they have kind of produce and sundry items and milk it's almost like a UDF, like a souped up UDF more than like a
Okay.
gas station. Um, but great experience. But they are all over Minnesota. We had a bunch of Minnesotans reach out very politely, of course, and say like, "Hey, DJ is wrong here. They're expanding rapidly in Minnesota." So wanted to just get that on the record. Cracker Barrel. There's a Cracker Barrel not far from Neil's soon to be hometown. I think he said that there were no Cracker Barrels in New Jersey. There's one
Mm,
in Clinton, New Jersey. So,
he'll be
um,
stoked.
yeah, we'll have to have him do a on-site review there. Lake City, Tennessee, which was also related to we were talking road trips and just I-75 between Detroit and you know Lake City, Florida. Basically, Lake City, Tennessee is now it's been renamed to Rocky Top, Tennessee, which I didn't even know you could do that. Rename a town.
Yeah,
Um,
did that have to did they take a vote? That had to be a
I
ballot
don't know.
initiative, right?
It's crazy. Like that would like, like cost money, right? Like people have to like reprint stuff and
Yeah.
all of that. So,
Huh.
uh and then just a couple from our friend Lane. He said you guys compared Runza to a bunch of different items but didn't mention I think it's either a buy rock or a B rock. It's kind of this like meat
Y Yeah, I have no idea.
pie thing in Nebraska and Kansas. Mea culpa there, sorry. Runza was it was delicious. Randy, you need to stop at a Runza on
No, I
your
did
way
stop at
through.
Aranza
Oh, you
at
stopped at one?
Lane's
Okay.
honestly, at Lane's behest when we were driving to Michigan over July 4th, our very, very long road trip, stopped at Runza. I got just the regular I guess
Yeah.
that's called the Runza, I don't know.
There's like a 1, 2, and a 3. I think the 1's like the original.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had the
it's good.
original with a little ketchup. Good. Yeah, that's what I told Lane. I was like, "Listen, nice little change of pace out on the road, filling,
Yeah.
but am I gonna, like, drive out of my way to get to Aranza? No, I don't think so."
It was more Philly cheesesteaky than I thought it would be. It was like a Philly cheesesteak without the peppers or mushrooms or
Yeah.
anything, so
I
I don't
should have
know.
gotten I don't even think I got cheese. Maybe I got cheese on mine. I wish they would have dressed it up with some, like, grilled onions, peppers,
Yeah.
and I forget if I got cheese, but that would have been good.
And then also from Lane, he said Neil called it a chicken wrap for McDonald's. Have some pride. It's an effing snack wrap. So
But as we told Neil, it might be better that you don't know that it's actually called a snack wrap. Like, I think maybe there's a reverse thing going on where the less familiarity you have with McDonald's menu, maybe the better
yeah,
off
yeah.
you are. Yeah.
And then listen, Randy, I got a confession to make. I flew American Airlines on Tuesday evening, or Tuesday after. It should have been afternoon. It turned into evening. Just flight. I was going to fly Southwest direct to Baltimore. I had a couple meetings and stuff I had to get done at home. It was first day of school on Tuesday as well for the kiddos. So, wanted to leave about 3 hours later, but flew into DCA on a direct on American instead. And shame on me. It was like so actually I booked I was looking at it and it was like $80 more to book a first class seat.
That's
And it was gonna
crazy.
cost me like $90 to, like, check both of my bags. So I was like, "I might as well book the first class seat." And,
Yeah.
the flight attendants were delightful, but it was like 45 minutes delayed. Dude, like a midday flight, no reason for it to be delayed. And then, but DCA is always a pleasure to fly into. Love that terminal. So,
What
but, fought traffic on the way up here. So
um oh god, what was I just gonna ask there with Amer oh, was it a full flight? I'm shocked that, there was only an $80 difference to get you
It
up
was
to the
cra
front
well,
of the
it's crazy
bus.
too. It was like an A319. I don't know if it was a full flight. It was an A319 and there was only 2 rows in first class. There are only 8
Oh,
seats
huh,
too. So it was
okay.
kinda crazy there. But yeah, always cool to fly to the nation's capital. But, and then I got, we're staying here at the Pendry. I've had 2 so in our food podcast with Keith Mitchell, he called out the Sicilian Caesar salad here at the Sagamore Pendry in Baltimore. Had 3 of them already. I had 2 of the same salad for lunch today. I just went back to back. I was like, "Hey, can I get another one of these?" They're so good. And then the first meal I had this crab pasta. Then yesterday morning before the pro am, I had crab cake Benedict, and then they had crab cakes on the course. And then I had a crab cake I had 2 crab cakes for lunch afterwards, and then I had a crab salad last night with some oysters and stuff. So I might be crabbed out at some point here soon.
You might have the
So
gout. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
uh, I had
Yeah.
a delicious oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you go.
I had a delicious we went to this little Italian restaurant, I say we, I was in Philadelphia interviewing Michael Bamberger, as I said, and the end of the day, we went to this little Italian restaurant. I think it was technically in Marion, Lower Marion Township,
Okay.
obviously by Marion, the golf course Marion, and I had this lump crab meat pasta dish that was just so simple, angel hair pasta, kind of a white wine garlic, not a lot of sauce, but, to get some sauce on there, and then just tomatoes, basil, and lump crab meat. It was
Oh,
delicious. So, I'm jealous the time you guys are spending in and around Baltimore. I mean, I freaking love crab. It honestly might
me
be one of
too.
my favorite foods. I know you
There
do
was
too. Yes.
Yeah, there was a big, Baltimore Banner piece actually. I don't know if it was earlier this week or let me see here. It was from August 11th. Tim Prudente, Odyssey of the Crab, inside the 1,100-mile network feeding Maryland's crab frenzy. And basically, the thesis of it was all or, the gist of it was all that, like, the Maryland blue crabs, a lot of the restaurants around here, like, aren't advertising local crabs, they're actually bringing crabs up from Louisiana, similar blue crabs, but they're not in as cold of water, and I guess that industry's thriving down there, and that industry's kinda going away over on the Eastern Shore here a little bit, so it's kinda depressing, because I can definitely taste the difference, like, the ones out of the colder water up here are fantastic, like, I dated a girl in, college for a little bit that she lived in Bethesda, Maryland, or Potomac, Maryland, and I would go up to DC to visit, and I would go to the Bethesda Crab House right in downtown Bethesda. She would just drop me off, and I would sit there and eat crabs for like 4.5 hours, and my hands would be bleeding by the end of it, just completely raw.
I
And
know this to be true. I know this to be true.
I just
It's one
love
of my
crab.
favorite things about you. You go hog on crab from time to time.
Yeah, and, yeah, man, and, like, really, like, if I don't get gout this summer, it might be impossible for me to get gout because, like, between I think it's, like, Scotch whiskey, which I know is your favorite, and then crab and lobster and oysters and shellfish. Like there's all those, there's all that calcium and kind of crystals and all that stuff in it. And I know, like my dad's struggled with it in the past, but like heading right from like stone crab season in Florida into like I went to Nova Scotia for a few days, had like lobster basically at every meal up there. Then we went to Maine for family vacation. I had like ton of lobster rolls and just lobster pots up there, and then now in Baltimore. Um, so just oysters galore. So anyway, that was our ServPro, mea culpa section. Shout out to them. And you know what, Randy, I got a nice email about. Do you remember Muzzy? The clock.
Muzzy.
It was like a I don't know what kind of animal it was, but it was like this fuzzy bear looking thing that ate clocks. And it was in like Spanish class or French class back in like
No,
elementary school. Okay.
no,
Well, I
no.
had a casual offhand mention of that the other day on a podcast, and I got a couple of really nice notes about that. It really struck a chord with people just on nostalgia, I think. So
Well, that's wonderful, TC.
yeah,
And
I
I
wanted
will
to. Yeah,
say, through all
yeah,
my flying, I wanted to give a shout to our hitters at United. Nothing that they need to apologize for have been very smooth operationally. So I feel
good,
bad. I don't really have any mea culpas here, either for
awesome.
others or
No,
for myself.
shouldn't feel bad. You should feel proud. I think United had a little snafu last week. It was like a 75-minute outage, I think, on their weight and balance system, which kind of snarled some traffic, I think, early evening one night. And I was getting all sorts of DMs about it for like the 12 hours afterwards. And I was like, this is already resolved. Like it was a 75-minute thing, led to some gate and runway delays and stuff like that. But overall, like, you guys are like they've already handled their business here. This didn't melt down like Delta did last summer, the a
Yeah.
24-hour
Oh,
debacle.
that
So
was tough. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Randy, I want to hear about. I got kind of Neil's version of it. He was doing this strain challenge when he was in Nebraska.
Oh my
Like
God.
we're like walking 36 holes a day, and he's like, "Oh, my strain's still not high enough for the day." So like we would get back to the hotel, and he's doing shadow boxing, or he's like running around, Gothenburg, Nebraska. Like he's running like 2 miles trying to get his strain up. And then we're in Maine, and he's still, and finally, the month ends, July ends. And I was like, who won? Like, how did it go? And he's like, oh God, it's turned into like this massive shit show.
Humongous. Yeah, okay, let's level set here then. Whoop. Obviously, we ran one as a company. You can build like a little community where everybody can see the data that other people are producing day to day on their whoops. Okay, so it's cool. You can organize these little challenges. Neil and his group of mostly college buddies, some other people. I first did just a 10 strain challenge with them. I think it was last October, and the premise was very simple. Everybody threw $100 into a pot, and um, essentially whoever had the most days of 10 strain or more throughout the month was going to take home the pot. Now, as it turns out, a lot of people are going to do it every day. So essentially, whoever ends up doing it every day, you split the pot. I think last October there ended up being 2 or 3 guys that missed out on every day. So, you made a little bit of money off of that $100 buy-in. More than anything, it was nice to have skin in the game. It was truly a motivator for me to, I'm sitting maybe at the end of the day, 9 o'clock. I haven't had a chance to work out. Normally, I would watch TV, go to bed, call it a day. This gets me off the couch. I'm running around the neighborhood. There have been times where I have to go out in the backyard and I'm doing like push-ups and jumping jacks, anything to get to this 10 strain. So fast forward, Neil and his buddies, I'm in this group from having done it last year. We're doing a strain challenge for the month of July. And Instead of just simply being the individual who can get 10 strain every day, they've added another wrinkle where they want to split. It ends up being 10 of us that are participating. They split the 10 of us into two teams. And so half the pot, same buy-in, everybody throws $100 in. Half the pot was going to go to this individual 10 strain challenge for the month, which I'm like, great. Like, that's all I really care about. I just want something to like hold me accountable to get these workouts that
Yeah.
I wouldn't otherwise get. The
Which team
other
were you
part,
on? How'd they divide the
well,
teams up? Yeah.
yeah, so the other part is we're gonna take the highest average strain for the team for the month of July, and they're gonna be the winner. And so we split it up. Neil and I went opposite ways. Big ringleaders for this are the Miller brothers. Neil played football with Evan Miller at Columbia. The Millers are from Cincinnati. They're a proud St. X family. And what are there?
Well,
Four of them
y
in total, I
no,
think.
I think there's like 6 or 7 of them, and
Okay.
Lou was older. Lou played football at Columbia a couple years ahead of
Okay.
Neil, like, they were on the same team. Lou was this menacing defensive end. They all went to St. X. There's like
Yeah.
5 or 6 brothers, and there's 1 sister, and then there's Tim, who lives out in San Diego, and their dad,
Who
self-glossed the king
the
of
the
discipline.
king of for wh and why did how did do you remember how he got that nickname?
I think he worked out for, like, a couple thousand days in a row,
Yeah, I think
like,
that's
he
right.
just
Like
like, in,
breaking
like, a
sweat
workout,
workout.
yeah, breaking a sweat, so, like, he would be delayed at an airport, and, like, he would just be, like, power walking or like, jogging around the airport or, but, like,
Yeah.
thousands of days in a row of working out, basically, and yeah, Lou and Evan, like, they're just 2 of the most unique, energetic people I've ever met in my life.
Yes. Type A, like, just oozing intensity. You can imagine a family with where the dad is the king of discipline. He's got all these sons. Anyway, it should be mentioned that I haven't met, like, of this, like, group of 10 people doing the strain challenge, I think I'd met maybe half of them in real life. So, like, I've only met Evan Miller. 3 of his other brothers were in this challenge. I've never met them in real life. I think they split the Miller brothers off maybe 2 and 2 on each side, and then Neil and I went on opposite sides, and however, there were some other buddies that
TA4 was
they
in it.
TA4 was on my team. I forget who was opposite TA4. But anyway, you come to this 10 teams. Now, this is where things start to get hairy because I think everybody was under the assumption that Neil and Evan were kind of the organizers of this challenge. And I think their thinking was, hey, we're going to start this Google sheet, and every day people are going to post whatever their strain is. We're going to go in, we're going to pull off the strain from that day, we're going to put it in a spreadsheet, and we're going to add them all up and average them, and that's going to be your team strain, right? Pretty straightforward. Well, of course, nothing ends up being straightforward. And as we're getting
And then
like,
some people are on new whoops and some people are still on the older
and
whoops
that I
too,
think
right?
is very important. I'm on a
Yeah.
Whoop 5.0, which is fabulous, longer battery life. We've talked about the benefits. I think that strain is more calibrated on these new Whoops, meaning it's harder. You can't cheat the strain like you could maybe on the Whoop 4.0. You could do
Like
certain things on the Whoop
the Whoop
4.0.
4.0 loves golf
Loves
as a
golf.
screen.
You
Yeah.
you could not even if you're, like, walking, carrying your own bag. I feel like you could have a caddy and walk around a golf, and that would be 11,
Yeah.
12 strain pretty consistently on the Whoop 4.0. There were just to give you an idea, I played, like, 3 days before the end of the month. I was in Wales playing Pinard, carried my bag, kinda linksy fun course on the hillside, up, down, cross
Yeah.
hills, like, not an easy walk, not, like, the most difficult walk, but, like, certainly something with my old Whoop, I would have been easily over 10, and it gave me, like, an 8.5 strain for this whole activity, and I was like, "Whoa." Granted, some of this, I think I have gotten in better shape throughout the month, but I say all that because you have people on different Whoops, and then we get deeper into the month, and they're giving out, updates on how the team standings are going. And all of a sudden people are starting to whisper about, like, well, shouldn't this be a logarithmic average instead of a linear average? And quickly, like, this is way outside of my, we have some like quants in the group. We have people doing these like sophisticated mathematical calculations. Lou Miller earns the nickname Logarithmic Lou. He is vociferously in favor of logarithmic because I think their team was slightly ahead by that measure, and our team was slightly ahead by the linear measure. So we're coming up on the end of the challenge, and I'm in Wales for the Women's Open. They're long days. We're just waking up early. You're at the golf course. I am getting some strain walking the golf course, but it's not like I'm breaking a sweat necessarily. We're doing radio. Saturday night, we have our own podcast. So it can very much be 12, 14-hour days. I had to go jog in Wales around this neighborhood multiple occasions just to get over 10. And the worst part is, TC, I'm getting like truly bullied by my teammates that like if you're not if you're not hitting Tommy Armour the fourth was doing 5 workouts a day, hitting like
Well, and
19,
he
20
was in, like,
strain.
really bad shape going into it, right? So he was going from, like, a low baseline
Well, maybe, but
upwards, right?
21 is the maximum strain amount that Whoop, and it's impossible to get to 21. Like if you get over 19, it's like, holy shit, man, that is amazing. If you get anything over 20, it's like you're damn near trying to kill yourself. Like you are redlining your heart rate for a long time.
4 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So these guys are like, Randy, you're 11 and a half strain today. Not going to cut it, man. We need you shadow boxing in the hotel room. Like I spent 45 minutes one night just shadow boxing around my hotel room, getting like 3 extra. I think that took me from like 11 to like 14.2. I'm like, guys, like I never really signed up. This was not what I wanted when I signed up for this
Was
challenge.
this before or after you sent that really earnest note to the group of like, "Hey,
After. Yeah, after. It was like a week before this, I'd sent a note to the group. I stepped on a scale, and I've been between, like, 210 and 220 pounds for literally 15 years now, just always in that range. And I stepped on a scale, and I was at 203 because 'cause I've been doing a lot of cardio, and I was like, "Oh my god, like, I've probably lost 10 to 12 pounds here." And I sent a note to the group, the wide group, and I was like, "Guys, just sincerely want to thank you. Like this really pushes me to do workouts. Like I feel like I'm in really good shape right now. Like thank you." Well, fast forward a week, and they're like, "Randy, what the hell are you doing, man?" I'm getting texts while I'm like on radio. Like, "Are you done with radio? Will they let you out? You need to go get strain." Like truly feeling bullied by this competition. You got Evan and I think it was Tim, his brother, which were on our team. Evan's putting in 4 a day workouts. You got TA4. Like the last day of our competition, I think you had 8 of the 10 guys up over 19 strain, just truly trying to do as much as they could the night before. And we get to the end and we don't have any resolution on what method we're using to crown the winner, linear or logarithmic, and we still don't have a winner, TC. We're 14 days into August, and I think this truly is never going to be decided. Like, I think it's just they're going to
Oh,
return the money. Nobody's willing to concede defeat. I think our team wins on a linear average. Their team wins, and it's so close either way. Their team might win on a logarithmic average. So my whole takeaway, I was texting Neil. I'm like, dude, I did not know I was signing up to like get inside the Miller family like psycho competitiveness here. Like that is not what I was going for with this challenge. But it was very funny. I was provided many, many laughs as these guys are firing shots back and forth at each other.
yeah, I felt like he was burning like 8,000 calories a day and barely getting above 10 strain by the end of
Yeah,
it.
crazy. It's
Nuts.
crazy.
It's like it's truly my
Um,
worst nightmare. Like
yeah.
I don't partake in that stuff. Randy, you know who else is a big Whoop guy though?
Who's that?
Drew at Stone Creek Coffee.
Oh, our
And,
buddy Drew, of course.
people need to be out there maximizing their strain. You know how to start your morning off right. The only way to do that is Stone Creek Coffee. Great cup of coffee is the perfect way to elevate an experience, whether that's breakfast, work, do sweeping rounds of golf, etc. Great coffee is also the way to up your mental acuity as you try to navigate an over-engineered exercise in bro culture, like Neil's Great Strain Challenge scandal of 2025. You need to be sharp and mentally present to make sure you don't get got. You think Randy would have survived the fallout without good coffee? No shot. He'd be face down in a Hampton Inn continental breakfast right now.
That's so true. That's so
So
true.
let's make sure your cabinet is well stocked. Here's a few coffees for you to try. First, Coffee Cherry Costa Rica. We're in Costa Rica this year. Drew being in Costa Rica, he picked a small lot that reminded him of the flavor of actual coffee cherries. Really fruity without being overly acidic. Supremely drinkable. This is Drew's personal go-to right now. Trust us, that man drinks a lot of coffee. I'm actually going to see Drew this weekend. He's coming to Baltimore. Second, the Ring of Fire at Guatemala. This year's lot from Antigua, maybe the best exhibition of Ring of Fire that we've ever been able to offer. It's like milk. You wrapped a piece of milk chocolate in fruit by the foot. Holy shit! It's not the most complex coffee in the world, but damn it, it's not if it's not delicious. Don't overcomplicate your morning. Just jump over to stonecreekcoffee.com and grab a few bags. They've got NLU 25 for 15% off your order. Get amped for a big 5-pound bag sale that's coming Labor Day weekend as well. StoneCreekCoffee.com, NLU 2025. Get involved. Gosh, where should we go from there? I mean, shout out to the Ring of Fire too. I feel like we've had all all sorts of earthquakes and you know, I feel like the Earth's crust is kind of popping off right now. There was an earthquake I think up east. There was an earthquake, I think in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and then obviously the tsunami warning
The
in
tsunami, yeah, I know
Hawaii.
that was
Yeah. So,
thought it might be
uh,
popping off there. Glad it wasn't bigger than
yeah.
what maybe feared initially.
Amen. How was Wales? Like just
Uh,
generally speaking, off course stuff.
yeah, candidly didn't get to do a ton off course. Wales, there's not a for me, and just a pre-mea culpa for any Welsh people that are gonna get upset by any of this, but I didn't feel a ton of, like, you cross over the Prince William Bridge is kind of the big,
Well, that's
mark.
a thrill for you.
Yeah,
Going
it
over a
it was a
royal
great bridge.
bridge.
Yeah. Got to fly into the Queen's Terminal, got to cross, Prince William or the Prince of Wales. Maybe it's called, not Prince
Okay.
William, the Prince of Wales Bridge. Yeah, just loved it. And you kind of are then by Cardiff. Uh,
And that's the
I
big
guess where I'm
city or the
going,
biggest city in Wales,
the
right?
capital, yeah,
Okay.
and then where Porthcawl was, we were pretty close also to Swansea, which is, like, the other bigger city there. I guess what I'm saying is, like, when you cross the bridge, it's not like, "Holy shit, I can tell I'm in a new country." It's like it's almost like crossing from one state to another in the
Yeah.
US, right? Like, okay, I'm sure they have some little subtle differences here, and if I was staying for a month, I'd probably pick up on a lot of it, but for our trip, it didn't seem like Wales was materially different than
Mhm.
just Western England. A few, they were talking about these Welsh scones
I
as
hate
one of their
scones.
like their like truly Welsh items. There was another food thing Sophie Walker was telling me about, like a cheese toast, which I did not have. But it's not like, oh my god, what
Yeah.
Wales, they're known for this meal or that meal. I think the biggest thing you do notice is all of the signage everywhere. I think this is somewhat more recent. They're making a big push to make sure that the Welsh language does not die and disappear. So I think they're making a point to teach young kids, at least get them some understanding and learning of the Welsh language. And then all the signage is both in English and Welsh. So even
Okay.
at the golf course, everything had uh dual writing on it. So that was probably the one marker where it's like, you're in a different country. But pretty, very green. We drove through Swansea, just like kind of the downtown route, went by the college, and looked cool. I didn't we didn't go in Cardiff at all. Porthcawl was like any other kind of little seaside village town. The golf course was cool. We went on and on about that on the recap show, but yeah, I know that's not, like, the most exciting answer, but it was like,
Oh,
Wales was fun, but, yeah, it wasn't
yeah.
like, "Oh my god, so exotic." I
Yeah,
think as you
for
get up
sure.
further north, it gets a little bit more remote. Like we were kind of down in more of a population center
Mhm.
down in southern Wales. So
Cool. And then,
yeah,
I mean, congrats to your parents. 50 years.
50. I
That's
know.
cool.
Yeah, we had a good time out at the shout out Omni out at the homestead in Virginia. It's actually the first time I'd been there. Goodbar and I got to play golf on the Cascades course, which was cool. My
How's his
mom just
game? He was in shambles last time last time I played with him.
he was okay. I'm trying to think. I beat him on the Cascades course. He had beaten me twice up in Michigan though. So I
Okay.
do have to give him his due credit for that. He was like mid 80s. I think. I
Okay.
think I beat him in our match, maybe 3-2 or two up even. But the homestead was I think the highlight was we did the old kind of Jeffersonian natural baths one morning. Just floated around in these like natural spring baths that have been there for close to 200 years, maybe over 200 years. That was kind of fun. My mom brought her wedding dress and was able to still fit in it. I think there was, like, a clasp that she was a little nervous. She didn't try to, like, zip it all the way up, but pretty amazing. She could
Yeah,
still fit in her wedding dress. She had tons and tons and tons of pictures and, we just kinda spent the weekend celebrating them and reliving stuff. I know my parents really, really enjoyed it, so it
that's
was
awesome. Your parents
it
are
was good.
wonderful people. Yeah.
Well, thank you. So yeah, had a good time there. Like I said, went on the back of that to Wales and back home for a little stretch here in Denver now, the rest of the month, which will be nice.
How'd you get to Wales? Did you fly just Denver to London direct and then just drive over?
No, well, because I was in Virginia,
Sorry. On the way
so we
back,
had
did you fly
gone,
London to
yeah,
Denver? Okay.
did the Heathrow to Denver, which was a nice flight, big new Boeing Dreamliner.
Yeah,
Cashed in some plus points to get the upgrade on the way back, so had a nice comfortable seat there. But yeah, we had done the Dulles. We had done Denver to Dulles, drove over to Homestead, drove back to Dulles, and I
yeah.
flew Dulles to Heathrow.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it was good. I guess the only thing funny with Wales, where we were staying, there was like this mall and food court. We ended up eating like twice at Five Guys, and then like a couple late nights we ended up getting KFC. It's like I hadn't eaten KFC in years, and I had it twice
Yeah.
in Wales, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, we all good. TC.
Good. Good. I was writing about this a little bit for an upcoming newsletter we've got of like I haven't really watched anything lately, but I think the thing I've been watching the most has been wildflowers out the window of a car of just like driving through Nebraska or Nova Scotia or Maine. It's just been like I've just been noticing wildflowers this summer and like the just that brilliant yellow and light blues and stuff like that. And it's just been kind of like the theme of my summer. It's been very relaxing and
Yeah,
like kind of the point where like I'm starting to like seek them out. I'm starting, like oh they have like out at Colorado Golf Club. I remember last summer, 2 summers ago when we had our last summer when we had our event out there this same week. Like they've got those red wildflowers out there, and it's like their club
yeah. I wish I
logo,
knew what they were. Yeah, I wish I knew what they
and,
were called.
yeah, but I don't know, I'm just getting deep like, it was like in Scandinavia a few years ago when we were, up in Norway and, they had those, like, purple, those kind of brilliant purple and pink wildflowers up above the Arctic Circle. So,
Yeah, yeah.
anyway.
They have one of my favorite things that they're doing at Common Ground, which is the home of the Colorado Golf Association out here in Denver. We had an event there. Our Roost had an event there earlier this year, and we had Evan Scholars on hand to help with all the groups that were playing. And the Evan Scholar in our group was this young woman. She's at CU Boulder on an Evan scholarship, and she is interning this summer at Common Ground with the CGA. And one of the big projects they're working on is in conjunction with the Denver Botanic Garden, is seeding a bunch of like wildflowers and native areas around Common Ground. So, hopefully by next year, I don't know how long it will take, but I was like, God, two of my
That's
favorite things,
killer.
Common Ground, CGA, Denver Botanic Garden. Like, what a great idea. She was pretty thrilled to be working on something like that, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I mean, school's back in session, Randy. Massive,
It
massive
God, it
news.
seems early. Yeah.
It's earlier in Florida. I know in the Northeast, it's more, they go back maybe a week before Labor Day. It's, another week or 2, and then I think as you get farther north, it's almost like just wait till after Labor Day and then they go back. But yeah, I was happy, the whole camp, school, camps and just figuring that out week to week during the summer is a lot. So, um, that's kinda that, and then, yeah, man, I'm just gonna keep eating these Caesar salads up here, we're staying at this hotel, and it's got the Caesar salad, and I'm gonna have, like, 10 more of them before the end of the week. It's kinda like, and then I'll just go back to my Johnny Pops next week. So,
Perfect.
it's like my vice for the week.
Yeah.
Um, but, uh but yeah, and then, I was trying to think. Family vacation was good with Neil and my parents and Carson and Petey, and we played so much wiffle ball out. We had this big
Boy, football's
lawn
awesome.
out to out to the water, and then Acadia was in the distance. Like, we were kinda just off the island. It was a blast, and
Yeah.
man, Goosey has, like, wildly good hand-eye coordination. Like it just picks up the ball off your hand and, like, it
Yeah.
just goes. Whereas, Freddie's it's funny, my dad took Freddie up to see his buddy Dana Bible, who was, like, the
Oh,
offensive
sure, sure.
coordinator
Yeah, yeah, the
for
cubic yeah,
Boston
yeah.
College and
Yeah.
NC State. So he was, like, he's close with Matt Ryan and, Russell Wilson and, a few others that, like, he was their, like, personal quarterback coach and offensive coordinator and all that. Coach, he's been coach for, like, 40, 45 years, and, he worked with Freddie on just, like, footwork and, you know, just QB stuff, and Freddie, I was like, "Hey, Freddie, you wanna do this?" And, like, Freddie was just obsessed,
You
and he's like,
guys
"Dude, Freddie's
I'm s
like
you
he's, like,
guys gotta
really
get out
good."
the pool noodles and start, like, hitting Freddie as he's in the pocket, you know? Ma
And,
Working
we're very
on
much
his
like
pocket mobility.
"Hey, Freddie, like, just go have fun or whatever," but it's cool to, like, see him doing, he's 8, right? It's not like we're
Yeah,
trying to train
yeah,
him to be QB1 or anything like that. I just want him to have fun, but he loves it, man. It's fun. So it was
yeah.
nice of him to offer that. And it was up in Columbus, so I was like, because he's working with Dana is an advisor for Ryan Day at Ohio State, and then he's working with, he's like best buds with Chip Kelly, out in Las Vegas now. So I was like, don't, just keep a low profile. Don't tell him that how much, what my true feelings on Ohio State are.
Right. Of course,
So,
of course, of course.
anyway,
Uh, I just back to Maine real quickly. I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of a vacation I've always thought would be super cool in the summer. Was it did it live up had you done Maine like that before, or was that kind of the first time?
Ever like that. I've been up when Alex and I lived in Boston. We went up to Portland a few times. And so this time we flew up and we flew into Boston. We took the kids to a Red Sox game. It was Red Sox Astros, and then I told Freddie about the Astros cheating scandal and the whole all the relations between the Red Sox and the Astros and all that. So he was asking me about all that. It was fun. That was a blast. And then we drove up. We stopped in Portland on the way up, and then we drove, the rest of the way. Nice drive. Definitely vacation land. Like people were
Yeah,
ripping up 95. It was, Bar Harbor is like it's like a smaller version of Traverse City. Definitely like overcrowded in the summer and
sure.
kind of too much hubbub. Like we spent more time over in Southwest Harbor and Northeast Harbor, kind of on the other side of the island. But like every day, yeah. So and then like we stayed just off the island. So Mount Desert Island, we stayed in, I think Trenton is the name of it.
Okay.
And it was great. Like rented a couple stand-up paddle boards and a kayak, and, like, every day there were, like, seals just, like, right offshore, so we would just, like, go stand up paddleboard, and there's seals all around us, and,
Yeah.
You know, every morning, me and the kids would, like, go out and just look for crabs that then we could,
Mm,
like, fish with.
mm.
Um, you know, like, these little crabs, I think peaky toe, and then, yeah, so it was just, ate a ton of lobster, cooked out a few nights. It was just, and actually our next door neighbors, Tim and Suzanne, they were up there at the same time too. So we ended up going and having dinner with them one night and all that. So it's nice. On the way back, we stopped in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which I think I prefer that to Portland, Maine. It's like the one
Is Portsmouth
little.
on the water?
It's
Like
on the
the
wall.
where
Yeah,
you
yeah. It's on
the
the
little
river. It's like there's one little, like, little strip of land from New Hampshire that kinda goes down to the coast, and,
yeah.
yeah, pretty cool little town, and then, another car rental with National. They were great, but it was amazing, like, I we had a Tahoe in Nebraska, and I drove that all over the state, and then, for, like, 7 days straight, and then we had a Grand Wagoneer, and I just kept thinking of Jeter with the wolf in the thing, but, like, I can't emphasize enough, like, how much I hated this car. It's like all little creature comforts in the Tahoe or the Suburban were just not there, and it was, and you
Huh.
know what, Randy? It wouldn't let you put the car in drive unless your seatbelt was on, even if you were, like, moving it in the
Ooh.
driveway. Felt a
Yeah,
little too
that's a
nanny
bit
state.
much. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Come on, you gotta trust people a little bit.
yeah, and then, didn't play any golf. Had a bunch of people reach out and, like, "Hey, come play Kibo Valley," or come, and I'm like, I didn't even wanna be tempted. We took a couple little boat rides out, like there was puffins and, um, I guess they've got great whites up there now. I don't know, just a really, really cool place.
Mm,
So, obviously the Rockefellers owned most of the island at one point, and then donated to the
yeah,
national park and all that. So interesting history, but people in Maine are wonderful. It's like, the best elements of New England, and I don't know, just I feel like spending time back to back in Nebraska and Maine was good for the soul. So,
yeah. Well, I've always
and
thought about Maine, New Hampshire in the summer a lot like what I would think like how Michigan is,
yeah,
and so I'm like, I'm never sure. Actually, my mother-in-law wants to, like, retire to Portland, Maine. Like, she grew up in Boston. I think she wants to get back there eventually, she's told us. So, maybe I'll have some reason to get up to Maine at some point. But,
yeah.
yeah, it's like, man, if I'm gonna go do summer, it's feels like, well, I'm doing Michigan. There's really no
Yeah,
reason to just, you know, cut out the family element and go to Maine. But that's
I've got a
awesome.
buddy.
Glad you guys went
Yeah,
up there.
yeah, the Red Sox game was awesome too. Like, Roman Anthony hit a walk off single or double, and
Yeah.
he's kind of one of the cornerstones of my fantasy franchise, and he'll be a keeper for me this year. So stoked to see. He's really good. And, like, man, I'm so impressed every time I see Bregman in person too. He's just such a good
I know.
baseball player.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I was wishing the Reds could have gone after him in the offseason,
yeah,
but
which he's gonna. I think he's gonna opt out. I think he's got an
it
opt
seems
out, and
like
he's gonna
it.
be a free agent
Yeah,
again.
probably another
So,
bite at the apple. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, otherwise, actually spent a little time in Austin too. Went up to Austin and, stayed at the, what hotel was that? Right next to, Perlis, right down the street from um, where
Oh,
you,
yeah. What, like, on
it was
Congress? On
It
South
was on South
Congress?
Congress, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
Hotel
know what
San
the
Jose.
Oh, is it?
It
Yeah, yeah,
was
I remember
it
walking
was
by that many times.
awesome. If you
Yeah.
guys next time you guys are back and you wanna get a hotel and not stay with family or anything like that, I would highly recommend it.
From
It's
the outside,
awesome.
it
Yeah.
kind of reminded me, is it kinda like the Palms in Atlantic Beach? It kinda had
Yes.
that feel to me a little bit.
Yeah. Even more secluded and more like the courtyard in there, and they've got a little pool, I don't know, and, like, that Joe's coffee shop is right next door. It's just
Yeah.
really,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool spot. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and then, yeah, just Baltimore this week and then home for a little bit. So it's gonna be nice.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
enjoy Baltimore, where, of course, the BMW Championship going on, and then we have our summer festival Roost event Monday. So that'll be good. TC, anything we need to be monitoring? I know it's not like a heavy monitoring episode, but anything that we
Yeah.
need to call out at least?
I think we've just, we've been keeping an eye on AI, the Great Lakes of
Perpetually,
Africa.
perpetually,
Yeah,
yeah.
that stuff. Magic Jeff and our guy Paul Connors, they sent me some notes about this Traore guy who's like the dictator in Burkina Faso. I've been kind of
Mm,
reading up on him.
okay.
There's a big piece on artificial turf taking over America. Uh, just kind of the turf lobby.
I
Getting
think
their
this
roots in New Jersey and that sort of thing. Where do you fall out on that?
pun intended. I was gonna say, I think this is the type of story that could really divide people into 2 distinct camps. Listen, the more I think about it, I think there is a time and place for the plastic artificial turf fields. I think, I even see more and more, like, yards out here in
I have
Denver.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, it makes sense from a resource perspective. I get that. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. Many people know Marymount High School, Kuzal Stadium. Kuzal Field was football, still is football, soccer. I played soccer. The football field by the end of the fall would be really, really shitty, bumpy. Humps, bumps. Was it the best playing condition for soccer? Absolutely not. Do I like to think in a looking
You
back
guys played
25 years?
fall soccer as
Fall
well, so you're
soccer.
playing at the same time as the football team?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you can imagine, a rainy Friday night, that field gets beat up.
Yeah.
We're there maybe Tuesday after playing a soccer game. I think there's a toughness to it. I think there's an element of I hate to see grass fields going completely away. My alma mater, they have since turfed over the whole field, so it's always perfect conditions. I just hate for us to get away from playing outside sports on real grass. And I realize that's maybe not the most popular opinion, but gosh darn it, TC, it's I if I'm going to be an old man about something, I think we should have grass fields. Kudos, I think the Steelers, aren't they one of the few NFL teams still with a real
Steelers
grass field?
actually, Neil and I went to the Ravens stadium the other night, and, you know, Diet Baugh and Team Rose spoke, and then Neil and I went out and chucked the pigskin around, uh, with, some friends out on the field, and it's a gorgeous, I think it's Bermuda, just gorgeous
They have
surf.
real okay,
Yeah,
I didn't realize
yeah,
they had real grass still. Alright, well, that
yeah,
makes me feel better. I really
yeah,
hate seeing, like, turfed baseball infields. You'll see
yeah.
at some colleges and high schools even. I don't know.
I
I'm
think it's
just
case by case, like, some climates aren't great for it, or the season doesn't align with that season's grass, and, because there's nothing worse than, like, really bad turf, like, really
right.
bad, like, real turf as well, where guys are slipping and sliding and can't keep any footing, so it's just dependent upon, I think it's case by case, like you said.
Are we still worried about the microplastics, like the little rubber pellets getting in people's bloodstream when
I think
when they
that's just,
fall and
yeah. I mean, I don't, I'm more just worried about microplastics on a macro level, I think.
I know.
Of just generally speaking, I think they're in it fucking
We all got the
everything these days.
microplastics. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what else we got? A zoo in Denmark wants to feed your pets to its predators. This one
This is
really, really
this
tickled
is
me.
interesting. This is
Provocative.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Uh,
Danish zoo is asking owners of companion animals nearing the end of their life to instead donate them as food for captive lynxes, lions, and other carnivores. This was in the New York Times. I think
w
I'm here for it.
oh god. I love the idea. I don't
I
think I
mean,
could do it with Arthur. No way I could do it with
yeah,
Arthur.
I mean, guinea pigs. Yeah, I don't think you could do it with a dog, but like guinea pigs, rabbits, chickens, and even small horses. Uh, nothing goes to waste.
Uh,
Ensures natural
yeah.
behavior, nutrition, well-being. I don't know if uh I don't know. I don't know if you'd like, yeah. I don't know. This
It's a
one's for
tough
me.
one. Listen,
pretty
I've never
broad.
felt affinity for rabbits or guinea pigs. I'm sure some
Alex wants to
people
get a
love them to
rabbit.
death.
I'm like,
Like
"I don't want a
Alex
fucking"
does?
Yes, my wife, like, I'm like, "I don't want a rabbit," She
Mm.
like, every 4 weeks, she's like she'll send me, like, an Instagram account, like, "Here's a Pomeranian." "No, I don't want that." Here's a and then, like, she's got Freddie all convinced that, like, he wants a rabbit. I'm like, "No, we have, like, this beautiful dog, and he's great. We don't need a rabbit." So,
Oh, I'm with you
like,
on
they had
that.
this
I would
God,
encourage you to keep fighting that fight.
yeah, we had, some fish at one point. They lived so long. We had this hamster. Freddie named it Hammy Burrito. Hammy Burrito was so mean. Uh, so anyway, Will
Oh,
Barwell sent this over. Our guy's certified health nut. He's back in rare form. I just,
okay,
the
what's he doing?
world's better with CHN kind of doing his thing. I think this last one was Uh, it was talking about if you're not pooping daily, your body is holding on to waste toxins and yesterday's energy, bloating, fog, and skin issues. It all starts in the gut. Uh, Regular healthy bowel movements aren't optional; they're foundational to healing. If you're struggling with constipation, comment detox, and I can help you solve it. Then he gets all into all sorts of hot water enemas and
I
saltwater flushes,
well, I do
all
think I
that
agree
stuff.
with him there. I think, I certainly wanna be doing my business once a day at least.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same guy that's a huge proponent of butthole sunning.
Listen, I
The
haven't
what
tried that.
vitamin D and vitamin B12. He said
Yeah.
it's like overdosing on it. So this one really drew me in. There's this guy from Texas. Are you familiar with the Great Loop?
No.
It's basically I think you go like the Great Loop is like from I think it's like up the Mississippi and then all through the Great Lakes and then around east coast of the US and then down along the Gulf and all of that. You're going through
Oh, interesting.
Intracoastal and all that. So it's
Uh,
big Great Loop. And this guy did it in like a 60 horsepower motor powered, like just fishing boat. Very simple, like little John boat. And he did it. I think he broke the record by like 7 minutes or 7 hours.
huh.
Um yeah, I think older guy, like, I think he's, like, 71 years old. Robert Ewens, he's a 71-year-old resident of Austin, Texas. He set out he went Pensacola all the way around, and all sorts of inland rivers and all that. So, it's pretty impressive. It's like,
I dig that. I dig stuff like that.
19 days and, like,
Yeah.
was going very, just through all sorts of, very narrow, shallow rivers, out 80 miles off the coast in the ocean, like pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So pretty ballsy.
Huh.
But yeah, this was courtesy the Detroit News, Julia
That
Carty, but
that
it was
would be
picked up a
really
lot of other places.
that would be
Yeah.
so fun to boat. Like, I wouldn't wanna do it trying to break a record, but just if you had, like, all the time in the world, what a fun route that would be. Good way to
Yeah.
see some great parts of this country.
And then you know how he finished it off by throwing out the first pitch at the Pensacola Blue Wahoos game against the Biloxi Shuckers.
Is that Bubba's team? That's Bubba's
I
team,
think
right? The
so. Yeah.
Pensacola. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So,
that's awesome.
that's cool. But yeah, I mean, never went, I think he said he could go up to 40 miles an hour on rivers, but about 18 miles an hour on the on like Lake Erie and Lake Huron and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, speaking of water, Iran sounds like they might run out of water. Bad stuff there.
Not good.
Good stuff. There's a ceasefire in Armenia and Azerbaijan. This happened a couple weeks ago, but just getting up to speed on that. There's this guy Jeffrey Epstein. He's running for mayor of Framingham, Massachusetts. But
Yeah.
Geoffer, or Rey.
It's
Jeffrey with the
tough.
G. Yeah, but
Tough.
really, he's just got a good sense of humor about it, and he seems like a really earnest, good guy. So good luck to him. In other political news, lot of chatter out there about Lil Kimmy's daughter. Very kind of shadowy figure. I think she's in her early 20s or mid 20s now. him potentially grooming her to take over for him. And she's been making appearances at some of the big military parades and stuff. So
Did she ever get sent over for any kind of schooling?
I
'Cause
don't know. I
didn't
think,
do
yeah,
do
he
they
went to
ever
school in
send people out of
Switzerland.
country? That's what I thought.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know if she's like, if maybe things are they're too isolated now from that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But yeah, I read a piece here in the last few months about like classmates of Lil Kimmy talking about, like just being friends with him and not really knowing who he was, until afterwards, kind of thing. Uh,
It's God, it's
so
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
then and,
well,
and
they
then
think this daughter was born sorry, I'm just
yeah.
quickly I think she's only, like, 13 or so right now.
Oh, really? Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking they like first found out about her when she was 13, but okay.
Well, they
Um,
don't know for sure, but they believe she was born in either 2012 or 2013.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So it could be
yeah,
fascinating.
Kim Ju A or Kim Ju
Yeah.
I.
Yeah,
So,
however you say it.
okay, yeah, 12 or 13. Huh. But yeah, she made her first public appearance at a missile launch in 2022, which seems, you know, on the nose. So,
But I
uh,
know the boat launch has been mentioned, but God, just that boat launch was tough.
yeah. Last thing there, New York Times had a big thing on Zuck's neighborhood. Like he's moved into this neighborhood in Palo Alto and just built this compound. He bought up like 7 or 8 houses, but there's people that won't sell, and it's just a big thing there, kinda turning it into like a surveillance state, the whole neighborhood
Ugh,
with security.
ugh.
So,
I would hate
yeah.
for I mean, just
Yeah.
for that reason alone, would hate if Zuck moved in near me.
Yeah.
But it would be fun to
Uh,
go over and smoke the meats with him.
Sweet Baby Ray's. We got a couple, Annika I don't know if you saw the Annika Sorenstam. She was going after
She
American
was fired
Airlines.
up. She was
Yeah.
fired up. Hopefully, she got some resolution there.
Yeah, it was a little, she said, "I'm extremely disappointed in American Air, just one trip. First, you rebook me to the next day. Don't cover hotel or food. I now have a 5-hour layover and have been bumped out of my class. This is not how you
Mm,
treat loyal
mm,
platinum frequent flyers.
God, I hate
Hashtag
that.
do better. Hashtag angry." It felt
I
a little bit ticky tack. Platinum is pretty low in the totem pole over there. I think there's like exec platinum. There's another one on top of that.
Oh,
Concierge
so that's
key.
not even top of the food chain
No,
there?
no.
Oh, come on, Annika.
Yeah. It
And the
was, yeah.
hashtag angry, we know you're angry. We don't need that hashtag in there. That
Yeah.
seems
And
a bit overdoing it.
yeah, I got absolutely crushed by JetBlue on an overweight bag fee. Our second I think we paid like $200 for it. It was like 3
What did
pounds
you just pick
over.
up a bunch of souvenirs and stuff?
No, on the way there, I don't know, Alex, like, put all these, all the activities and books for the kids in one bag and
Oh,
then tried to
okay.
move some of them over, and, I don't know. It was just because we flew JetBlue on the way to Boston. It was an otherwise nice flight, but man, they really, really got their claws into us. United is poking around on a Dulles to Pinehurst route, which is that's fascinating. Moore County Airport.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna monitor that, and then listen, I don't know why this
This
was
one's
this
tough.
yeah.
This one's
So
tough. What?
this was a
Yeah.
headline on Tuesday. This was in the Daily Mail. United Airlines flight was canceled after a female passenger had quote biohazard diarrhea that destroyed the bathroom. This happened in July 2024. Writer and actor Megan Reinertsen freely admitted she was to blame for the midair disaster, revealing she spent an hour and a half locked inside the lavatory during the July 2024 flight from Newark to Indianapolis. And I guess she was coming back from Portugal, but I think maybe she opened up on it on TikTok about it here recently. Um, but yeah, it's just like she said, like I am the biohazard, basically.
Why w why would she wanna get out in front of this, like, a year later? I don't
Well,
understand
that's
that.
not out in front, that's out behind
Out
me, right?
behind. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess. I
yeah.
am patient 0. Oh, okay, like, great.
Yeah.
Reading the article, TC, just to she got special clearance from the pilot and the attendants to essentially stay in the bathroom the entire flight. She was there on landing. It's
They have a
incredible.
seatbelt in there?
No, I can't imagine, but
Oh.
I tell
Um,
you what, I will say this, I've been in flights before that have been so uncomfortable, I would much rather just sit in the bathroom for the duration of the flight than in the tiny cramped seat that I've been in.
yeah, I have two. I have two. Let's do some baseball into football, and then we can wrap. I did want
Okay.
to mention Tuesday, August 26th. You know what that is, Randy?
Um, I don't, TC.
It's FanDuel Futures Day. I think that's also.
Ah,
I think that might be our fantasy football draft
yeah,
too.
it does that seems right.
Yeah,
It's either that
there's
Tuesday or Wednesday.
there's some rumors that the commish might be coming back or hoping to co-manage
I don't the
THG's team.
THG's float yeah, I don't believe any of it.
So, but it's FanDuel Futures Day, new holiday for football fans. 24 hours of deals on your favorite football season predictions. Take a flyer on the MVP race. Ready? Who's your pick for MVP?
My guy Joe, of course.
Okay, crown your champion in August. I don't know who my Super Bowl pick is. It was probably
No,
going to
I'm not
be
ready to make a pick.
yeah, it was probably going to be ball related until Rashawn Slater you know, tore his Achilles or his patella. You can parlay your division winner dark horses.
Okay.
Mark your
So
calendars. Yeah, yeah.
it's a good time to interject. I had actually done this on of my own volition before ever knowing that Tuesday was FanDuel Futures Day. TC, what do you think about this? I got I put a hard-earned $10 on the Bengals to win the North, the Jaguars to win the South, and the Broncos to win the West.
I
I
think I
mean, is it
like it.
likely? No. It's like I got it at like plus
That was a parlay
6,900 odds. Yeah, as a
between
parlay.
those three. Okay. Um,
I
yeah.
think if the Chiefs aren't gonna win the West, I like the Broncos. I feel like they're up
Then
and
you're kind of
coming.
shorting the Ravens a little
Yeah,
bit.
the Bengals obviously a hard play there, and,
Yeah.
the Jags, listen, if the Texans stumble,
Yeah.
you're talking me into being
Bad
bullish
division.
on especially on the Jags offense.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Alex took the kids to, or she took Freddie to the preseason game the other night. Travis Hunter made his debut. I think the offense is going to be. I have no concerns about the offense. Sounds like Brenton Strange has had a great camp at tight end. Offensive line sounds like it's going to be a lot better. Scheme's better. Defense, we'll see. Interior D line might be still a concern, but we'll see. I think Tyson Campbell's had a really good camp at corner. So we'll see where we land. So Tuesday, August 26th. I think some of the over under wins. I'm doing a little
It's always fun.
side action
Yeah.
with our friend Zach Lee, and yeah, we're gonna do like basically win totals for all 32 teams over under.
He
So
here's something that I don't love though, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm sorry, FanDuel. FanDuel, in the past, they would give you one line. This was the team's over under, right?
yeah,
Now with FanDuel, you can essentially you can bet any win line. So like even for I don't know, the Eagles, like if you want to bet them to be under 5.5 wins, there is a line for that. So essentially now like every team has this spread of here are all the over under
there's like a
lines.
menu for each team, but yeah, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can kind
yeah.
of I think you can fine tune your play then better and get more value
For
if you want
sure.
to like
It's
if you
just
feel really
harder.
strongly about something.
I want one universal over under line for a team, like a consensus one, I guess, across, like across Vegas, perhaps.
Yeah. I think there is that though.
There
Then they
probably
kind of
is. I
float
just
off
need
of
to look
that.
for it.
Yeah. Well, visit the FanDuel app today. Start planning your futures bets now because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Yeah, I mean, Randy, any other I saw Brady was kind of shitting on Burrow a little bit.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw you send that through. So
bizarre.
I had bricked myself, so I haven't been able to access Twitter, Instagram, a lot of the social, so I can't like actually click in and see what was he saying. I'll have
I
to
don't know.
unbrick
I don't know.
to
It's
look at that.
Brady's been really bitchy lately. He was clowning Wayne Rooney the other day. He's just I don't know. He seems to kind of be lashing out about something. So I
Okay.
mean, what's the word out of Bengals camp? Just is Trey Hendrickson? Is he participating?
No,
Amar
he's
Stewart in the
holding in
fold now?
still.
Okay,
Stewart's in the fold. I think,
okay,
actually bullish on Stewart. I think they're gonna try to use him, not only on the edge, but slide him inside also from time to time, especially on passing downs.
okay.
The defense wasn't great. They played their first preseason game. They lost, I think, 34-27 to the Eagles. Defense was not good. That's obviously gonna be a big, big question,
Yeah.
the whole
I
year
mean,
probably.
wildly
But
different scheme without Golden, right?
yeah, yeah. I think the big news is Burrow played multiple possessions. I mean, the messaging out of camp is they know that they have to get off to a better start than they've
Yeah,
ever gotten off to in the Burrow Zach Taylor era. So I think there's going to be much more emphasis getting out of the gate strong. Not being like 1-2, 1-3 as they have in years past. And Burrow was fantastic in the first preseason game. They played Monday night against the Commanders, I think, is their second. I would expect them. I don't know if they'll go like a full quarter, but the first team offense will get some good run. So the offense seems super dialed, and they picked up
well,
Noah Fant. I don't
yeah.
know how you say that.
He might stink, but I feel like
He
they've
might
just kinda
stink,
been
but
on
I
the
think they
retread
might.
tight end program with, like who was the
Yeah,
guy that, originally
they
played at
had
South Carolina?
stinky. God, he ended up being like the worst of the tight ends that have come through. I'm gonna draw a blank, but essentially what they're saying is they have Gasecki and they got this guy Tanner Hudson that are like really their receivers, and then they have a
Yeah,
couple blocking tight ends, and I think Fant is kind of in the middle, and I think they want to do a lot more stuff in 12 personnel, two tight ends, but Fant allows them to kind of disguise run, not run a little bit better. So we'll see.
okay.
But I am bullish on the
Uh,
offense. I think the offense is going to be clicking. It's just, can the
yeah,
defense get enough stops?
yeah. I saw some QB tiers come out. I don't know if it was the Ringer. I know the Athletic did him, the Ringer did him. Honestly, it was, like, pretty aligned with our ball knowers
I know, it made
ones,
me feel good.
right?
The one I think it was the one, the athletic one, where we were like, they were very smart tiers. I
Yeah,
thought how they
yeah,
set
and
that
then,
up.
like, I think we had put golf pretty high, or higher than the consensus, and they kind of
Y-
they
Or
had
Stafford, was it
Hurts,
Stafford
their
too? And
yeah, and then they
yeah,
they had Hurts pretty 9 or 10, I think,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
that sort of thing. So, it sounds like the Niners are man, they're banged up, man. They're really banged up. It sounds like Kyle might be trying to temper expectations. He had some
Wow.
some thoughts yesterday, I think, that were like, "Hey, like, I hope we can get better as the year goes along," and it sounds like the guys that they drafted defensively are popping a little bit. They're just so
The big
banged up at
question.
receiver.
I know the first ball knowers is coming up, but will Pooch have his expectations tampered? That will be the big test.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do ball knowers next week. I think Neil's gonna join. Obviously some changes there with KBV, but I think Neil's gonna join and then probably keep that 4th chair a little bit, malleable throughout the year. Hope to get Sturm on, hope to get, you know, variety of different people. We get hopefully Nate Tice back on,
Yeah.
get all sorts
If
of,
Mina,
variety in
if
there.
open invite, if
Yeah,
Mina ever wants to come on,
yeah.
absolutely.
Randy, I saw Vontez Burfict is now a college football coach. I think he's an analyst for UNLV, for Dan Mullen's
Love this.
UNLV team. Yeah,
Love
I
that.
mean,
Tez
just
belongs in the game of football.
just class act. He's a
What a
great
great place for
character.
him to be too in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
just perfect. And I will say, our Miami Redhawks play UNLV this year.
Really?
So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Out in
That's their,
Vegas?
I believe UNLV comes to Oxford. So I
Wow.
think it's the second game that they play.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll Tez will be in Oxford. Maybe we should make a trip to Oxford just to hang out with him.
God, how fun
Take
would
him
that
uptown.
be? Yeah. How's Miami looking? Did we get a bunch of guys plucked in the transfer portal or is it
Yeah, they lost a couple of receivers. Gonna have 11 new guys on offense starting.
okay?
The big name they brought in Daquan Finn, who was 2 years ago. He was the MAC Player of the Year at Toledo, and then had transferred to Baylor last year.
Uh,
Was the starting quarterback early, got hurt, lost the job, and has transferred to Miami. So I'm really excited to see him. Miami's brought in some transfers. I
Yeah.
think maybe a lot like Shanny and the Niners. I think Miami will be a team that gets better as the season goes along. I think reasonable expectations. Let's compete to win the MAC East. Let's get to the MAC championship and see if we can win a MAC title. Hopefully, go to a bowl
Randy,
game.
are we gonna be approaching like salad days for Miami Athletics here coming up? If
It's
if
close.
the hockey team can get this thing turned around, the basketball team's
Yeah,
good.
basketball team's going to be
Uh,
good this year. TC. I know it's
uh,
crazy. It's like we've spent so much time in the abyss, and it's
yeah,
like no, we gotta lean in and start appreciating what we have here. I think starting now. So
I
I
love
just
that.
hope our guy Chuck takes doesn't put too many reins on Finn at quarterback.
Yeah,
Let him do his thing. He's dual threat, can pass it, can run it. I hope he gives him some freedom.
yeah. I think on that note, I was thinking about this. I was talking to Neil about it because he's a massive Aaron Rodgers homer. I think Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers makes sense.
I think
And
on
I'm
paper it
excited to
does.
see it play out.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I
I
think it's
think
a
there's a
run first thing. He doesn't
yeah.
have to do a whole lot, and there's a defined sandbox, and then he can audible out the line and get creative within that sandbox. I don't know. It's
I
good
I'm right there with
receivers. Yeah,
I think the thing you can never quite know is he just gonna turn off everybody in the locker room or not? Like like just personality wise, how's he gonna mesh there?
yeah. It sounds like the Cowboys, Jara's just doing Jara things. Jaral.
I
Need to talk to
every day I
Stone
go to
about
bed
that.
praying that God somehow, man, could the Bengals somehow swing a trade for Micah Parsons? But I know that's not gonna happen.
Then they'd have to pay him, which,
I
Mike
know,
Brown's not gonna do
I
that.
know. Sign
Uh,
Trey, trade for
yeah,
Micah. Let's freaking go, baby.
yeah.
Mike, you're not getting any younger.
See Stanford's hiring the goon, that John Donahoe guy, the goon from Nike that got ousted as Nike CEO, as their AD.
I did see that. Just refresh me real quick on Donahoe. What was his was he
Oh,
the guy that got fired somewhat recently for Nike? Essentially for like, dude,
yeah.
what's the strategy here? Like the you're kind of doing harm to the brand.
Oh, yeah, he was, like, just pissing everybody off as far as from vendors and industry people. He
Yeah.
was, he's a Dartmouth and then Stanford MBA. He was an account his, let's see, what did he do? He was at Bain& and Company for 20 years,
Love that.
and, yeah, just kinda ran that playbook at a few other places. Then went to eBay, and then, yeah, he was at Nike, I think, 2020, like Mark Parker, the guy that stepped down, was pretty beloved figure there. 2020, he stepped down in January, and this guy lasted about 4.5 years, and just, I mean, everybody hated him, I think.
I
So,
remember reading articles like, man, they're seeding market to
yeah,
like On and all these like running company like, yo, you're Nike. What are you guys doing?
yeah. And they
Well,
ended up, getting I think he got a massive payout when they ousted him and all of that. It was, just a debacle. So, Randy, how are your Reds doing?
the Reds, TC, they're just managing to keep me. They're giving me enough hope to really hurt me. I think in another month or so, but they're playing okay. They really have leaned into the pitching and defense. The offense is tough to watch most nights. I think as we speak, they're a game or a game and a half out of the last wild card spot behind
Yeah.
Neil's Mets, which is interesting. I think the Brewers have well and separated with the NL Central, so I don't think there's any shot to win the Central for the Reds. But yeah, hey, still hoping, still dreaming, still trying to talk Solly off the ledge most nights, about standard fare over here.
Oh, I would not want to be privy to those conversations. Like, we have our text thread for for the fantasy league, but then I know there's a separate Reds discussion with you and him, or just a Seamsters thread, and I would not want to be a party to those. I bet Solly's just crestfallen about 70% of the time, and then
Yeah,
thinks
just
they're winning
strong.
probably 15% of the time thinks they're gonna win the World Series, and just vacillates in between.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like truly well and declared the season over, several times now. So we'll see.
What'd you think of the
Uh,
trade deadline? I thought that
I
trade they made with the Pirates was provocative.
that's one word for it. Yeah, Brian Hayes, who he is the worst hitter in baseball. Great glove, truly just a glove first third baseman. The hope is like, hey, if somehow they can get him hitting, it's going to be a steal. But it's like they're going to owe him $8 million for the next like 4 or 5 years. I don't know, man. The Reds, I just keep waiting for them to make a substantial trade at some point. They just keep not doing it. I truly think they're just gonna try to churn veterans and use internal prospects to build the team up. But they need some kind of bat. The team is desperately lacking a certified bat behind Ellie to help Ellie. They did
Would
not
they
get it
ever
at the
trade
deadline.
Ellie?
Well, they're gonna have to trade him in several years here because I don't think they're gonna sign him as a free agent. But I forget when he becomes a free
He's got,
agent.
like,
That's at
6
least
more
three
years or
seasons
something?
away. Nah, it's not that far,
Uh,
unfortunately. I think it's gonna be in the next like 3.5 to 4.5 years. They're gonna have to make a decision there.
and is Ellie a Boris guy?
I believe he is.
So
Yeah.
so so he's not gonna do one of those Red Sox or Braves deals where they
No,
buy out 2
no.
years of free
I'm
agency
I'm
or
sure
whatever.
they've already offered that to him, but no, he's gonna make a shit ton of money, and if I had to guess, I think he's gonna end up in Los Angeles, but
Okay.
we shall see.
Randy, I listen, I've definitely caught Brewers fever. I did way before this winning streak. I think, I had Bill Contreras, and I've had Yelich at times. I've had Terang,
The
you know,
orangutan, yeah.
yeah, all those guys on my fantasy team, but I just, I really, really like the way that they're constructing that roster, that franchise. But I do have a confession to make. Falling head over heels for the Marlins.
The Marlins
They're
are fun.
they're
I know.
frisky, they're fun. I love all the, Yuri Perez and, Ed Cabrera.
They're
They got
always a
this,
team with, like, just tools. They're a
yes,
toolsy team.
raw tools. Like, even,
Yeah.
I had Augustin Ramirez as my starting catcher for the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season. He was delightful to watch. They got this guy, Davison De Los Santos, like this just absolute predator, like DH, first baseman, catcher kind of dude
Yeah.
that they're gonna
Yeah.
get up for next year. This Jacob Marcy guy,
I
he
don't
had
know that name.
he had like 2 or 3 home runs last night, 7 RBIs, a stolen base. Good prospect there. I don't know. It's
Xavier
just
Edwards. I will say Xavier Edwards is
oh,
one of
he's
my
great.
favorite guys. He
And he's
just
like
is a
he hits
throwback
for
player.
like he gets on base and he hits for like relative power for his standing.
He's just a
Uh
tough out. He's a
yeah.
tough out.
He runs, he's not running as much this year. Yeah, obviously my guy Big Sandy.
Of
He's
course.
I'm glad they didn't
You've been
trade
nursing
him.
him. You've been
Yeah.
nursing him. You've been
And I
bottle feeding Big
I
Sandy.
I I have so many Marlins and White Sox on my team. It's concerning.
Have
Get
you
this
come
guy
across this
Lennon Sosa.
Colson Montgomery cat for
He's
the
on my
White Sox? Have you
squad.
scooped him up? Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah. He's been on
he
my squad for a
screams
couple
your team.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
okay.
he listen, I'm a guy like Brooks Lee on the Twins, just guys that barrel it. They might be a little undersized,
Look at
you
you
know.
saying barrel it. I'm so proud
Yeah.
of you. How
Yeah.
far you've come in the baseball world.
I think Deej and I we're gonna be out in California in a few weeks. I think we're gonna go to the A's game, the A's Red Sox game.
I'm so jealous. That'll be such a good game at the minor
Yeah,
league park.
yeah,
It'll feel
dope.
intimate. Yeah.
Yeah, Solly's got that Nick Kurtz. He beat me to him on the wire one day. I was having
He's been
internet
really
issues.
good.
That
Yeah,
was disappointing, but
he's been really
I
good.
think I'm in a good spot, man. I've got for our fantasy league. I've got two. I've stockpiled an extra second rounder, an extra third rounder, an extra fourth rounder. I think I've got 1 or 2 extra seventh rounders. And then I've got Ellie as a third round keeper, Roman Anthony is a late round keeper, and Yuri Perez is like a 23rd round keeper. So,
Yeah, I think that's a hell of a
you know,
foundation there.
and then I might try to sell off some guys that I got Sam Basalo. I got all these guys that are keistered right now that aren't even. I got a bunch of guys with NA next to their names.
Did you grab Shane Bieber? I was trying to
I had Shane
really
Bieber.
grab
I've had Shane
Shane
Bieber
Bieber
for
off. I
months.
mean, just
For
stashing him on the
Yeah.
injured list.
I had him for 3 months. I traded him. I was talking to Max about him a little bit. I ended up trading him to Casey. I think I
Okay,
upgraded from like a 7th to a 4th rounder.
maybe that's
Traded a
yeah.
bunch of guys that direction. But yeah, I've been I don't know, man. And like the Marlins have their AAA affiliate in Jacks. I wish it was their AA affiliate. AAA can kind of be guys that are
Yeah, you're exactly
almost
right.
timed out a little bit, or just it's like,
Yeah.
that aren't really, ready for prime time and may not ever be. Just kind of flawed players. But there's some guys coming through on rehab stints and that sort of thing. I need to get to some more jumbo shrimp games as it cools down a little bit.
I was just gonna say, it's gotta be just so hot
Yeah.
to go out and sit
Yeah,
at a baseball game.
for sure. For sure. So what else?
God, you
I was
getting
thinking
eyes
about going to the
on the
yeah,
Marlins prospects though
I know.
at the jumbo shrimp games?
Well, I
God,
was talking to
TC, I think
Poosh
that's a
about
good lane for you.
The Hawaiian guy they drafted. Toolsy, Toolsy player.
Okay.
I was locked in on the MLB draft this year. I don't really like watching the games that much, but I like the concept of
There's just so
baseball. And
much data and player yeah, you can just get
yeah,
really deep in stuff.
yeah. And I didn't realize Baseball America follows me on X, the everything app. They've been replying to some of my tweets. It's great. So,
That's fantastic. What a
you
world.
make it to any
What a
Rockies
world.
games?
Have not, but big news. We have tickets next month for a Bark in the Park night, so we're gonna
Oh,
take
wow.
Arthur. So excited. Yeah. I actually they're playing the Marlins. It's Rockies Marlins. I
Oh,
think it's
it's like
like the 6th.
93 expansion special.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, hell of a Bark in the Park game. So, I think that's like September 16th. I will certainly
Oh,
give you a full report afterwards, but
God,
yeah, we're
if Yuri
excited.
Perez is pitching or Big Sandy, you
Yeah,
might have to
I
just
know.
live stream that for me.
I know. I'm so mad, like,
Stick a
the Rockies.
GoPro on Arthur's head. Just
Yeah. The Rockies have started to call up a couple interesting dudes, but they've been for most of the year they were like bad and boring, which is the
yeah,
absolute worst. But this like warming birth, I forget his last name. They got
it's an
some.
outrageous name. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a totally outrageous name. But I'm glad Bernabel, warming Bernabel. They got some more guys like that, which are at least curious to watch.
yeah. They traded what? They traded the one guy to the Yankees, Los Yankees, and then
Yeah, they had to unload McMahon's contract. That was probably good. I think they traded a couple relievers. They're trying to like just kind of reset, get it down to the studs, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's the ownership out here is no good. No
they
good at
seem
all.
pretty disinterested. They're
Yeah,
not even like malicious or anything. They're kind
I
of
know.
just like sad sack. Don't know what they don't know, right?
That's kind of what it is. It's just like, man, I feel bad for legitimate Rockies fans. Like truly feel bad. And that's coming from a Reds fan, like that's how bad it is.
Anything else we got to cover?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a good one. I'm sure I'll think of some stuff the next time you and I get together, but I feel like this was a nice check-in and get us back on schedule a little bit with our chop sessions.
Yeah, we'll have some ball knowers next week. I think Seamsters the week after that, and then
Yeah.
you know either ball knowers or chop after that. So
Yeah.
we'll.
Yeah.
I know Pooch is wrapping up his tour or this leg of the tour. He'll be calling in from home
That's
next
something I
week.
should mention. Just saw Pooch out at Red Rocks last week. He was great. Got the
Heck
rock
yeah,
star treatment. Got to go backstage, hang out with them. Yeah, that was a ton
that's
of fun.
cool.
Mhm.
Was it the Slightly Stupid
Yeah,
tour? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Those guys
exactly.
are cool too. And then actually, I think I'm gonna go see Rector here in DC on
Oh,
Saturday
nice.
night.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's playing here. So, well, cool, man. Well, good to catch up. Fun,
Yes,
fun shop.
absolutely. Enjoy the weekend in Baltimore. Thank you, of course, to FanDuel, Stone Creek, and our friends at ServPro. And without further ado, TC, until next time.
Until next time, and really just real quick, you got to be 21 or older and present in select states. Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino are 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. We will see you next time.
Cheers.